Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Blessings and blessings, family. My name is Preston Smiles, and I would consider myself a messenger of love, sent here to remind us all of the one truth. And that one truth is that love is all there is, was, and ever will be. Today's transmission is an open space for any of you who would like to receive coaching in any form or fashion on anything you're being with at this present time. So, who has something they would like to talk about, need support with, or would like to come on live with me and receive some coaching? See the fam, the tribe. Carrie, I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. Katya, I love you. You're amazing. Jen, like, what a powerhouse. What a transformation. Your friend, as you know, who you sent over, spoke really highly of you and of your transformation and just how you're showing up as a queen. So, yes. Adam, a bunch of Stretch 22 family is in here right now. I'm Mummy's daughter. Okay. I don't understand that, but okay. For those of you coming in, if any of you would like to, Ava, receive some coaching or support on something. Okay, we have a comment here. How to let go of someone there was always a spark with, but it could never be a relationship. Having a hard time with this. Stop. Stop trying to let go and just appreciate what it is. I think that more of the sort of suffering is coming from the idea that it should have been. It should be this thing, but we could never figure it out. So, blank. But like allowing yourself to go, we all have someone who we have really good energy with. And just like, but it doesn't have to mean all that other stuff. And I get that there's a part of your flesh puppet that wishes that that was the case. That you had a moment where you guys could date or have sex or whatever the case may be. However, the allowing of what it is to be the case is a more powerful move for both of you, and leaves the space where you can still be friends, you know? And yes, maybe time is a real thing in some ways, and maybe one of the best things you could do is give yourself some time away from being in that person's energy, if you can do this, while simultaneously celebrating them every time you think about them. Every time you think about them, they come into your space, instead of going, I shouldn't be thinking about this person, oh, it's bad, you celebrate them and then let it go. Okay, we got a few more. How to deal with a repetitive pattern of being in a relationship with someone, but always in a certain time thinking about finishing it. Like if one of the two gets bored. Yes, this is a very common thing that happens quite a bit, where we get in relationships, and when it's high and we're climbing the mountain, when we're on that roller coaster where we're headed up, and it's like toot, 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 and we're like, oh, I love their smell, I love their everything. We're in it and on it. However, like everything, the brain has to habituate it. It has to do this thing where it takes you from sort of like full presence to like, oh, I got that. So that you can process new things, so that you can learn new things, so you can have that for other things. And so your job in your relationship is to continuously remind yourself that you don't actually know your partner, because you don't even actually know yourself. And when you define your partner as, I know them, I got them, then there's a boredom that comes. And here's the thing, we're all going to be bored at some point. At some point, you're going to lose attraction at the highest levels. However, those things can come back. There's a season for everything. And letting go of thinking you know them is one of the best steps you can start with, because you don't. So the moment I take the conversation of I already know Alexi out of the space and I go, what's here now? Who is she now? What flavor of the feminine is she showing up in the now moment? Then there's a new sort of like dance we're playing, which instantly keeps the polarity and the sexual attraction in the space, because I don't know her. What if she, like, who is she? What's gonna show up? I hope that makes sense. It's like, how many of you guys, type yes if you've ever driven home and didn't realize how you got there? Like you just drove home and you're like, how the fuck did I get in my garage? Because I wasn't present for any of that, right? That is the same thing that happens in relationships. So when we first start driving, we're very attentive. We're very, gotta make sure no one hits me. And we're on the freeway and we're driving and we're really, all of our attention is right there. However, after driving on that same freeway, on that same road, in that same car, month after month, every single day, we become a little more comfortable and we believe that we know how to drive. And so we sort of relax into it and go into autopilot. And autopilot is a beautiful thing, and it could be a very dangerous thing. And so we want to just switch ourselves back off from that. Okay, I see some other questions in here. Developed a reputation for being an asshole, but it's just simply untrue. If people cared to get to know, they'd see the truth. Okay. I feel you, brother. I have somewhat of that reputation as well. So I understand that. Where to guide excess sexual energy? Where do you want it to go? I mean, for me, it's creativity. Like, sometimes you guys will notice I get on these things and I'm fired up. Like, right now my energy's high, but it's not like, sometimes I am like a missile. Well, that's sexual energy that I'm transmuting and sending it into creation. And so depends on where you want to put it. Some people put it in working out. Some people put it in singing. Like, where do you want to put it? I love that there's a season for everything. Ebbs and flows are natural. And so it's also, boom. This person says, studying both medicine and an instrument. So it's between becoming a doctor and a classical professional musician. Do both. Or do one give yourself 2 years to do one and then do the next one. This is the thing, guys. We think that we have to have this one purpose and this one, this is my career and it has to be say the same. That's not true. Not even close to true. Like, life is long and beautiful. Why not try a bunch of stuff? Why not try on a bunch of hats? Like you do if you were going to a clothing store. Okay. Here's something that's been getting harder every day. Feeling rejected and misunderstood by people, not seeing me for who I really am, and ending up isolated. Okay, so Alexis, brother, I feel you, and I said that before. However, there's some responsibility you get to take in this, and ask yourself, Alexis, what am I receiving? What am I getting to be right about by holding on to this particular story in this way? Because is it a fact? Is it a capital T truth that everybody thinks you're an asshole? Or is it a few people who you value their opinion and you're taking their couple opinions and making it mean the same for everybody else? Right? Because the brain tries to do that. It tries to distort and generalize things and replay things the way we want it to be unconsciously. And sometimes that doesn't serve us at all. Okay, spiritual investor said, you're the best, man. I'd love to connect and have your coaching. I met an incredible woman from Canada named Samantha Lotus. Oh, yes, she's amazing. She knows you and your wife. Yes, she is awesome. She did Bridge Experience with us and Extreme Leadership, which I highly suggest. If any of you guys can get to LA, not this weekend, but the following weekend, and do bridgeexperience.com with us. Somebody put it in the comments. Bridgeexperience.com. If you can get in these rooms with us, your life will be changed drastically. Make a way out of no way. Legit. Find a way to get in the room with us. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm going to scroll back down. What do capital nouns mean? Infatuation versus love. Real difference. Well, love has many definitions. And so it can be a combination of the two. I mean, we love humans. We love a lot of people. And we can also be infatuated with those people. Now, when you say love, I'm assuming you're meaning romantic love. And once again, those two things can live in the same space. Sometimes infatuation comes and goes. And love typically remains even if we're upset with somebody. Because you can be really mad at your mom or dad and still love them, right? And so it's not different with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, whoever your partner is. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in the past month? I think a reminder that everybody needs a coach and somebody to hold space for them, particularly in relationship. That one's come up for me. And like how powerful it is when you allow your friends and other people to hold space for you, hold space for me. My man, whom I shared a mutual deep love, got scared and ran off with another woman. Yeah, that happens. And maybe that's not true, and maybe it is. Why do hard drugs hit harder the more conscious you are? Yes, they do. Because you're more of a available space for those things to show you some stuff that maybe you weren't willing to see previously. How to start loving yourself? You're doing it right now. Remind yourself that you're doing it right now. We are both verbally and emotionally abusive to each other. What do we do now? Okay. You separate. You separate. We are both verbally and emotionally abusive. Yeah. You separate until you can get a coach or mentor or therapist or go to a workshop like ours where we would force you guys to lean into some stuff that you wouldn't normally choose to lean into and get help. Like the short answer is get help. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Biggest lesson in learning how to be a coach. It's always evolving. There's no cap to it. I've been celibate for 1.5 years. Is this sexual energy you speak of to put into my works and wait until the one? Maybe that's not a question. Just pray for me, please. Why are you choosing celibacy? And what's another, like, are you willing to let go of that? Are you willing to not have to be celibate? Like, why? What's the choice about? Is it religious, or is it you just holding space for your one? Because I understand it. I mean, I chose celibacy and no masturbation and nothing for 6 months to be a space for Alexi to come through. But after that 6 months, I actually started having sex with other people, and then a few months after that, Alexi came through. So the question is, what are you attached to? What's a good way to have clearing conversations with a parent who wants to always sweep everything under the rug? Like she requests to not have those hard combos. How can I be in my truth? And hi. Yeah, you just, especially if it's your parents, you force it on them. If it's like a friend or somebody like that, you can't do that. But when it's your parents, you just force it on them. And let them be with it and sit with it and be willing to sit in the consequences. Like kids, even if you're 50 and your mom or dad is 70, we have like a special kryptonite for our parents, and so have it anyway. Boom. Give me 1 second, guys. I got a bunch of Stretch 22 stuff coming through. By the way, I've been celibate my whole life. Kyle Lipton, that's definitely not true. Give me 1 second. I just want to... Okay, boom. Morgan, like literally, like 10 people from other Stretch 22s are in here. Real talk. Yes, she said holding space, but I haven't found the one since I've had my son, so I've been picky, I guess. Yeah, do you believe in the one? And is, for me, the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 17 are all lessons and just as powerful to connect with. Because if the 17th person that you have sex with or date teaches you a lesson, some patience, something about you that changes you forever, then that person would have been really important for the one, right? Because you can't even call in the one in so many ways. Like some of you guys have a standard about what you want the one to look like and be like and act like, but you're not actually the space for them to come through. And so sometimes you need to date a couple frogs who are not really frogs in order to set yourself up for that person. Claudia, put whatever you want in here. Fuck, Preston, I love you. I always have the same question, fear or love? Both, because all of it's love. Healthy fear is fucking awesome. Okay, a couple more. What are your views on polyamory? I think it's awesome if that's what works for you. I think a lot of people hide in polyamory because they're not willing to play with certain levels of intimacy. Because the closer you get to another being, the more your shit shows up and the scarier it becomes. And so if I keep my options open and, play the field and allow myself to be in that space, then I don't have to go super deep with any one person. And that's for some people. Not all polyamorous people play that way. Not at all. Why does my dad always bring me down for no reason? He calls me all types of names. Because he's hurting on the inside and you represent maybe a time in his life or something. You're an easy target, period. Your dad's hurting. And so you get to love him and also distance yourself and let him know that it doesn't work for you. If you're a kid, because I know a lot of you guys are kids on here. There's like 13 and 14-year-old kids that follow me as well. If you're a kid, tell your parent that it doesn't work for you. And if you have another parent, tell that parent. And I understand, you got to protect yourself. And our parents aren't perfect. They're working through a lot of stuff. And sometimes we become the easy targets for them. Okay, a couple more. How to love someone with borderline personality disorder, bulimia, OCD, and self-medicates with cannabis. Woo! Struggling to find compassion when all they want to do is create drama. Yep, that would be fucking difficult, for sure. However, if that's your person, then you work it out. For real. And Gabriel, I'm going to say something to you that may trigger you, but I'm going to say it anyway. We never attract anything other than aspects of ourselves. And so what you see in another, 9 out of 10, you have a similar through line. Maybe it doesn't show up the same way. However, you attract a crazy person. There's 2 crazy people in the relationship. Stretch 22 is a 6-month total freedom boot camp that I lead with other amazing coaches. There's about 15 people in here who graduated from Stretch. It's people from all over the world who come together for 6 months to work with me and some of my world-class coaches. It's amazing. We're starting July 6th, so I'm doing calls, which I'm going to get off in a second because I have calls coming up. For any of you who would love to be a part of it, Eddie's gonna be in the next one for sure. There's a bunch of these people like Jen, the comment right below yours, have all graduated from there. So if you want to ask them what you have coming, Eddie just joined yesterday. So PrestonSmiles.com/stretch22. Yeah, a lot of people do it again. So it's beautiful and challenging as fuck, because imagine just working with not just myself, but a bunch of amazing humans who are all calling you to a bigger game for 6 months straight. Okay, last question. I'm just gonna allow everything. Do you have to be in LA? No, for Stretch 22, you can be anywhere in the world. The tribal gathering. Okay, 2 questions. How do you speak your truth if the people around you, family, don't expect it or accept it? If it's accepted, you find a way to speak to their listening. So in coaching and in facilitation of workshops, it's called style flexing. So you figure out how to speak to their listening so that they can hear you, right? So if your approach is like, "Rah!" and they don't accept it, then try, "Rah!" or, "Ah!" or, and any of those tactics, they may be able to hear differently. Does that make sense? Can you talk about the tribal gathering? Yes. So Jaguar Collective is a collective of sort of conscious leaders from different ethnic backgrounds and from all over the globe coming together to do some stuff. We'll figure out what that stuff is. We're still figuring it out. But if you aren't following at Jaguar Collective, please do. Love you guys. Real talk. Gotta go. Got Stretch 22 calls. PrestonSmiles.com/stretch22 for any of you who would like to work with me. For the rest of you, I not only hope, I know you're having a beautiful day or night. I just hope that you can see it. That you allow yourself to see it. All right. Peace, grease, love, and light.